joyfully, oh, to me. Turn your way, be sensible, logical, cool. Your world, so dependable, cynical, flexible, cynical. There are times when all the world's asleep. The questions run so deep for such a simple man. Please, please tell me what sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. The times when all the world's asleep. The questions run so deep for such a simple man. Please tell me it's absurd. Please tell me who I am. Who I am. Who I am. It's nice to see you too. I'll probably get a copyright thingy because I played that song in the background. You can only play songs on shorts, but hi, Colette. It's nice to see you too. Um, Easter, yeah, I don't. Do I celebrate it anymore? Like I feel like it's for kids. Like if I had seen my like great nephew, I probably would have got him an Easter basket. But I don't know. To me, Easter's it's fun, but I didn't really do anything. Like we do more stuff like around Christmas. It's hard to explain, I guess. Like I think I just feel like these holidays are more for the kiddies and adults too can enjoy them, but for me it was just it was another day off. It was nice. It's anyway, it was very nice. So I hope you had a I mean, it is a secular holiday here too in the U.S. I will be honest with you. I guess it's just my thing about American Christians and Easter. Well, I don't know. Because a lot of people don't go to church anymore. And I'm still like nominally Christian. But right now, I've just been having a lot of questions in my life. Like about, like, I kind of have more admiration, you know, like for Muslim people that actually practice their religion and are godly. And there are some Christians that are like that, but it's just few and far between. And I think the one thing, the really big thing for me when it comes to the positivity part, it's just like a lot of people say that they're Christian, but there's just certain things like that Islam actually embodies God more. But I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. But I like chocolate and candy, but I just wait until today to buy it. I'm not going to go buy it because I'm trying not to buy a lot of candy anyway. But here in the U.S., go buy it like the day after Easter. It's on sale, like the day after Easter. Although the sales are not as good as they used to be, I'll be honest with you. In the last decade or so, like, they've just become more stingy. You used to be able to get like really good deals, like at Walmart. You could get holiday stuff for like very, very cheap. And now, I don't know, everything's just cost of living. It's going up, but it's all good. I mean, I like candy. I just, I think if you have kids, I think you definitely should do something fun with them for holidays. This has always been my thing about organized religion. And I don't get this like from Muslim people I've met, but just like Christians, like it seems it's very performative, or they kind of give themselves like a free passy pass, like to do what they want to do, but yet just say I'm a Christian. And then I don't know, people that are Christian, like the gossip element, whereas Muslims actually like they practice as part of their deen. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. The gossip's not right. Like, I don't know. And there's just a lot of things about, like, I would say people that say they're Christian, like, a lot of people, even the ones that claim to be really practicing, I don't know. They're just not, they're not really truly wanting to build others up. And I definitely believe in God, and I say that I'm nominally Christian, but I don't know. There's just, like, the more that things happen in the world, I'm always flummoxed, like, every day, like, why is it that Muslims, and some Christians, I would say, like, some Seventh-day Adventists, they're just nicer. Yeah. But okay, I guess what I was trying to say is, I can't tell you exactly because I know you're a Muslim, but I've just heard people saying that it's part of their deen not to speak bad about other people. And I really do see, it's good to know what it means, faith. That's good to know because I'm not a practicing Muslim, I can't tell you. But why is it that Muslims preach, like, actually, like, not backbiting other people, and Christians, like, or people who claim to be Christian, it's just so freely done. And there's just a lot of things about Christianity. And I talked about this before on my other channel before. Okay, here's the thing though. I'm not saying that it's not a Christian day. Like, I am nominally Christian, but I have been considering converting to Islam, okay? That's something that's been on my mind for a couple of years now, and I made a video about it on my other channel. Like, I don't think I'm there yet, but when I interacted with Muslims, they knew things about Christianity or about, like, the Bible that Christians don't know. Like, they're just, like, kind of as jarring, and just their acceptance of people, and how they treat people with respect, okay? There's just things about Islam that I think are more beautiful than Christianity. And I'm not saying that I am becoming a Muslim, but I have more respect for Muslims, like, just the more I see. That's it, I just see and a lot of people don't like to hear that, because especially, like, people that are performative Christians, they just always say things like, oh, like, Jesus saved you, and I'm not saying that I know anything. You know what? I know enough because I have studied religion, so you don't have to be rude. Ramali, you are just rude. You're not being intelligent. You're not being smart, and I've taken religious studies classes, and I had friends who were Muslim. So if you were a Muslim that became a Christian, good for you. But, there are very tolerant Muslims. So that's telling me, like, you're coming from this from a very rude perspective. Like, already you're saying things like, oh, like, because Easter's the holy day. But actually true practicing Christians, they don't speak about Easter that way. And you can believe in like God and Jesus. And I have a different take because I never believed in the Holy Trinity. Here's another thing about that. Because I grew up in a Christian sect that I don't agree with, but they did not preach the Trinity. They just preached that God is God and Jesus was the Son of God, but not God. So for me, you know, Ramoli, I know enough to know that I've met Muslims that are good people and to appreciate. I'm not saying that I've read the Quran, but I know enough to know that there are good Muslims out there and that I can respect a lot of Muslim people out there that don't participate in backbiting and gossip and lift each other up. Whereas a lot of Christianity is performative. And one thing that you might not know, Ramoli, I'm sure you know 100% more about Islam than me, is I actually know a lot about how Christians act and behave. And there's a reason I haven't wanted to be part of organized Christian groups is because of this performative like behavior. And I don't want to condemn anybody. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But there's this performative side to Christianity, especially in the US, where a lot of people say that they're Christian. Like maybe 40, 50 years ago, they went to church, but they don't go to church. And they just say that they're Christian because it makes them feel good about themselves. And they're almost like, they use Christianity as like an excuse to be faithful when they want to be, but when it comes to how they treat other people. And Ramoli, if you really practice the teachings of Christianity, you're supposed to treat others with dignity and respect. And you're definitely not doing that. Okay? So, like to say, oh, you don't know about this. I'm just telling you about interactions I've had with people and that Muslim people that I've met present themselves better than Christians. Like, I'm sorry. And you can be whatever religion you want to be, but like I said, I'm not joining any religion. I thought about it. But to be honest, at the end of the day, I'm not really into organized religion, period. So, but I have more respect for Muslim people I've met. Like, there are some Christians, I would say, like Seventh-day Adventist, that actually they embody, like, their teachings. Like, Seventh-day Adventist people, and I talked to the Muslim lady that I'm talking about that I actually went to a mosque a few times with her. Like, she made a good point. She's like, the Seventh-day Adventists, they actually embody Christianity. Like, yeah, it's your lifestyle, it's your faith. Like, you actually embody it. That's the difference. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm just thinking about people like you and a few friends that I met that are Muslim and other people, like, they don't make it their life's goal to, like, trash talk other people. They don't, like, put on airs. And there is this, like, there is this side to Christianity, especially like with Ramali, who's coming in here saying, like, what do you know? And I converted to Christianity and it's our day of worship. It's just like, it's very performative. A lot of Christian people like to say, I do this. But did you know it's said in the New Testament? And Jesus even said that you're supposed to, like, have your faith in secret, like not secret, but like if you're praying to God, it's not supposed to be performative. Like, look at me, I do this, like putting on airs, like the indulgences of like what read up to the Renaissance and the end of the Catholic Church. It's not supposed to be so performative. Like, not that I have anything against Catholics, but like the idea of Christianity in the New Testament was that you were supposed to do charity for a person because you cared about them and because you wanted to honor God, not because, oh, like, look at me, I'm so special, and just walking around all the time saying, oh, Jesus has saved you. And I don't talk about religion much on my channel because it's very divisive. Like, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody believes something else. Everybody's like just so they're very married to their viewpoint. But there is one thing I've seen with Christians, like, there are some Christian people that actually walk their walk. Like, they're just there to do acts of kindness. And like we were saying with the Seventh-day Adventists, like, a lot of them do charity work. Like, when you go, like, to the local, like, I would say, hospital here in Loma Linda, like, you actually see, like, some Seventh-day Adventist people, they're, like, there, and they're, like, talking to, like, sick people, and, like, they actually have a lot of, like, they performs acts of service, like their faith, they're more like Khaled, like where Muslims actually go to mosque, like they're actually frequently going all the time, whereas Christians here in the US, it's just very performative. It's like saying, I'm a Christian on Easter, or I'm a Christian when that sounds good, or I'm a Christian when like it just makes me feel better. And a lot of people who claim to be Christians, like they're okay with all the people dying in Gaza right now, like, it's very, very murky and just not good. Like, there's just a lot of things that a lot of people who claim to be good Christians, like, why are they okay with all that? And it's just so performative, saying, I'm good, look at me. And I'm also going to mention, yeah, and Muslims just do it because it's part of their faith. And I would say, like, some of the Christians that actually act more like Christian because it's part of their faith, like they're doing it just because it's something that they want to do. But a lot of people are very performative, like they go on YouTube or they go on TikTok because that's the new way of doing it. Or like 20 years ago, they would just tell everybody, oh, look at me, I'm really Christian. And I remember when I was in high school, like these girls would be, I'm so Christian, we go to Mexico and we build like playgrounds for children. But one of the girls that did that, she was just not a nice person. And she used to call people names and be rude to them. And it was a lot of an act. Like, you can see through it. That's the thing. Like, if you're a true Christian, you wouldn't gossip about other people. Like, you wouldn't be putting them down. Like, you would be building others up. And I'm not saying you have to act like everybody's your best friend, but it's really popular to show disrespect. Like, people love to be disrespectful to each other, and this like spilling the tea culture where everybody wants to like have like some sort of celebrity gossip about other people, or just like there's just a lot of things that are just not super positive. And I'm not anti-Christian because like obviously I'm nominally Christian, but I don't really believe in a lot of the tenets of Christianity the way that some people do. And I don't really believe in like attending a Christian group, but good for people that do. That's just my thing. I just have a lot of problems with it. And whenever I did attempt to go to churches, it was never a good experience because if you're more of an introverted person, like I thought, oh, like this would be an opportunity to meet people that would build each other up and speak well of each other. Like I went to UC Riverside, which it was like there were a lot of Asian and white students that went there at the time. There were also Hispanics, but I went to this like Christian retreat one time, okay? And it was kind of weird because I was just taken aback by the way that the girls talked about other people, and the way that one girl was talking about a food service worker and calling her like foul words. And I thought, oh, I thought these people were Christians. Like I thought, like I kind of genuinely thought this group was different. Like I'd met other Christian groups when I was a kid where people didn't all treat each other with respect and want to build each other up and want to be like godly in the way that, not that I'm here to preach religion to you. No, I think it's good. There's nothing wrong with what you preach. Like I have no problem with what you're preaching. Like you're actually very nice. Well, I think maybe you're talking about Ramole. Maybe it's your background. Like maybe like you came from a very strict Muslim background, but there are a lot of Christians and Muslims who live together like in Syria. And yes, Lebanon had a civil war, but to this day Christians in Lebanon and Syria live together, and they Christians and Muslims, and they don't have like this bickering. And there are Christians and Muslims that, they respect each other. So I feel like you're coming from this as somebody that maybe had like a negative experience with Islam, okay? And you want to caution people not to convert to it. And I'm not saying like I'm becoming a Muslim, but I can have a lot more respect for Muslim people I've met because they actually embody their faith more, and some Christians. But Okay, I guess I'll just talk about my experience with Christianity because I don't want to offend anyone since I'm not like the Islam expert, although the way that people are portraying themselves, they're definitely not the Christian expert because right away, you're supposed to be humble. Like if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be humble. That's a big thing, a very big thing about Christianity. And I think a lot of converts, they're not humble pie. They're definitely not humble pie. And when you talk to like Seventh-day Adventist people, like they're very, very like they embody like Christianity and that they want to be of service to others and they want to build others up and they're not like, what do you know? And they don't have this confrontational mindset. And I feel like it's not a good look. And in fact, there was a Catholic lady on TikTok that was saying a lot of new Catholic people are offending like older Catholics because they're coming to like mass and they're saying things like I read the Bible and I pray and I do all these things, and these sound like very evangelical things. Like in evangelical American Christianity, it's very popular to boast about what you do, to like say, oh, I have sins, but then I'm a good boy or a good girl because I do this and blah, blah, blah. And I just, it starts to feel really fake town. It starts to feel really fake town. There is a side to American Christianity that, first off, I'm an introverted person. And like I said, okay, I didn't finish telling that story about that Christian retreat. So, I went to churches on and off because when I was a kid, we did go to a Christian group, Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't agree with their philosophy and teachings. They're a little too evangelical in their own way. They think everything is a pagan holiday. Like they believe that the flag salute is a pagan holiday. Like they take this to the extreme, but I will be honest with you, I never believed in the Trinity. I was never a Trinitarian Christian. I believed in God, and I believed that Jesus was the Son of God. So right away, I don't see things the way that a lot of Christians do. Like a lot of Christians believe in the Holy Trinity, except for like maybe some Unitarians, but they, from what I've seen, a lot of Unitarians just believe like God's an idea. Whereas I actually do believe in God, and I'm not trying to make this a spiritual discussion, but I think that's good that people preach about their religion. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Christians that preach about their religion, but there's a nicer way to do it or a more inviting way to do it. And a lot of Christians just they don't do it. They don't do it. And then I feel like they're kind of, I don't know, are they just so like blinded by the fact that people. Okay, but here's the thing, Ramoli. I have been involved with Christians longer than you have. And I know you consider yourself an Islamic expert because you left Islam and now you believe in Christianity. But there's a difference. You can believe in God and not like take these like there's like a performative part to Christianity. You can believe in Jesus, but this is where I feel a little bit closer to like people that just are, I don't know, they have a belief in God, and I don't have to like, yeah, you're supposed to love your enemies, but a lot of Christians don't. Do you get that vibe from people that have converted to Christianity? I don't. Like there hasn't been one thing, like for instance, I'm not trying to bag on Ramoli, but what have you said in this like chat that would make people think that your version of Christianity is going to make people want to go join a church and learn more? Like you can do that yourself. You can read the Bible. Like there are transient people that read the Bible and they're more Christian probably than you are, and they don't go on YouTube and tell everybody about it. And I'm not trying to be rude. But it's just I guess I was just trying to tell a backstory about why I'm not really into performative Christianity, because a lot of people growing up, well, you could say the same thing about Christianity, Ramoli, because I could like Christianity's teachings, but a lot of Christians act bad. It's the performative stuff. It's saying that, oh, you must celebrate this holiday and you must follow the teachings of Jesus. I'm not all into that. Like, for me, I just believe that you should have a relationship with God, and I respect those who actually like do things, because of their faith, not because, oh wow, who's gonna see me and I look so great. And a lot of Christians do that. So it's the same thing. I don't think you get it remotely. I'm saying the same thing about Christians that you're kind of saying about Muslims. Although I don't have a problem with Muslims because I didn't grow up in Islam and I didn't leave Islam. But maybe I have a similar viewpoint to Christianities because I've had a lot of experience with evangelical Christians, that you have not. I've read parts of the Quran in English translation. I haven't read it in Arabic, but have you read all parts of the Bible? Did you know there's a passage in the Old Testament where it says if a man thinks a woman is like his wife is cheating, that he can take her to the high priest and like part of her thigh could fall off. Or there's part of the Old Testament where they say if a woman doesn't scream when she's being raped, that she could be stoned to death. Like there are things in so we're not having a contest, okay? We're not having some contest. Like there are passages of the Bible that are not as humane as you think, and I'm not anti-Bible, okay? But we don't need to have some contest like, oh, have you read this? Have you read that? Because there's probably parts of the Bible you haven't read. But you're going to say because Jesus says this in the New Testament, but actual Christians, they're supposed to believe in both the Old Testament and the New Testament. But anyway, I'm not going to get into a big religious debate because everybody has their own faith. Everybody believes their own thing. And everybody wants to be the expert in everything. That's fine. But I guess my thought is I don't like performative Christianity. And a lot of Christianity in the U.S. is very performative. And it's very like group based, wanting to like I'm part of a group and I attend church and I do this, but it's not really based in the heart. And if they were really Jesus, they would turn the other cheek and they wouldn't talk bad about others. But I actually see Muslims doing that. Exactly. That's a good point. I mean, you could have bad experiences in any religion, but the people who leave Islam, like, there's all the same things going on in Christianity. Like, especially, it goes back, like, just, there's more similarities between Islam and Christianity, but I'm not going to get into debate. I guess my whole point is, oh yeah, about that Christian Bible retreat I went to. A lot of the girls were mean to other girls in that group, and then there was one girl that was talking to me, and she's like, Julia, you actually talk to me and you're nice to me. And everybody else, like in this group, like all these girls, they claimed to be really Christian, and they were going around campus saying things like they wanted people to come to their Bible study. And it turns out there was this one girl, she was the girlfriend of a boyfriend in the group. She goes, I didn't even want to come on this retreat. She told me, she goes, you're the only person that was like, she wanted me to come and talk to her because she said I was the only person that was nice to her. And that bothers me a lot because there's a lot of like mean girl behavior like in Christianity or just in general really. And I don't condone mean girl behavior. Like I feel like you should treat everybody with dignity, kindness, and respect. I just do, okay? And I just remember thinking, well, these women claim to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, but they were excluding people. Well, no, I think you do good, Khaled, but I guess I just went off on a tangent, and I don't want to make this all about, like, spirituality, but one of the reasons I don't really attend church anymore is just because of bad experiences with people, and I have read the Bible, and there's things in the Bible you'd be surprised, like in the Old Testament, everybody loves to chastise the Quran, but there's some passages in the Bible that are they're questionable. Book of Revelations, is that a nice, warm, and charming story? Oh, come on. Don't pretend. Like, everybody, like, all the Abrahamic religions, and I believe in God, but it's just like, there's this contest, and I don't know what it is. It's about people that, I don't know, but I'm sure Muslims do it too, and yes, there are some Muslims that do it too, but a lot of Christians just love to, like, be like, I'm better than Muslims, or if I'm an evangelical Protestant Christian, I'm better than Catholics, and this is why I don't attend a church, and that's just my take on it. I'm sorry, I probably went on too much about religion, so. The weather is weird. It's nice, but it's been weird because it's raining, it's sunny, and then it rains, and yeah, but it's not bad. It's good weather. I can't complain. So I probably shouldn't have talked about this topic for so long. I think, And I was gonna talk about a hair topic, but I don't know. I got sidetracked because they brought up Easter, and I didn't really talk about Easter yesterday just because of my feelings. And I guess these are just my feelings alone. You know, everybody has their own feelings. But yeah, the weather's been pretty good. I want to do henna again, but I'm like, henna's so messy. But I might do it because I love being messy. I know I'm clean. I'm like clean as a pin. Like I'm just so clean. But I have like this OCD with wanting to clean everything. So when I do henna, like I just am like scrubbing everything. But you know, that's a thought too. And I guess okay, let me change the subject a little bit more to like yeah, I'm growing my hair long. I have wavy hair, very wavy hair, by the way. Yes, it's. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, but you braided your hair." But people with straight hair, their hair is not wavy like this when they take it out of a braid. It falls flat and pretty straight quick. I guess my hair is about 2B, but I don't scrunch my hair, and I don't do like diffusing and things like that. Yeah, I don't do diffusing or like a lot of hair gels, and I don't know. It just seems like right now, like okay, I'll completely change the subject just so I don't talk about the other thing that I kind of got sidetracked talking about. So, one thing I have noticed that's really funny is like there just seems to be like this weird like obsession with always wearing your hair loose, like, and it seems like either people want to like straighten their hair so they can wear it loose, or if they have wavy or curly hair they want to like style it a certain way so they can wear it loose. But I don't really like doing that because when you're out in public, especially, like I don't know, like your hair is like going everywhere and that just really annoys me. And then a lot of people, they just, I guess they kind of they deal with it by having a claw clip. But I just don't think I'd want to constantly be putting my hair up in a claw clip, and then I feel like that would be tugging on my head. So I just braid my hair, and I think like when your hair gets really long, yeah, you might have to bun it or something. But I'm wondering, like, this is just my thought. Is floor length hair better than like knee length hair? I just really don't think so. Like, I think floor hair length hair is really amazing, and maybe someday my hair would be that long again. But this is like one of my this is one of my criticisms, like with men in the long hair interest area. Not men that are actually growing their hair long, because a lot of men are actually growing their hair long, or they just have an admiration for women that love to have long hair. And I like to be a feminine woman that wears dresses and have long hair, and I'm not going to apologize for who I am, because I know it's like a lot of people, well, and it's always been funny because it's always been women actually that had like a problem with me like wanting long hair or just wanting to wear dresses more often, or pretty much like all I wear nowadays is dresses. And that just bothers women like by a lot. And a lot of women are like, "Oh, you have to wear pants." Like, and I just, okay, I thought this was interesting. Like, I see a lot of things on TikTok. Like there was this woman, she was wearing a dress for her first day like at work, and I thought she looked really put together, and somebody was telling her, "No, you have to wear pants and a certain top to look put together." But I think a dress looks so put together. It looks really nice. It's very stylish, but it's not like what's trendy. Like some women will wear dresses and skirts here and there, but I just think dresses are so stylish, and I love like A-line skirt. I love like sometimes a pencil skirt, and there's something very stylish about dresses. You know, they just look very good, and you know, I just really appreciate it. I No, I don't like ripped clothing either. I was kind of trying to figure out like, okay, I know in the 80s it was so funny, like ripped jeans were really in style, and then it kind of went into the 90s with that grunge look. But I always thought the grunge look was really ugh. Like I never dressed grunge as a kid. Like no offense to people that want to dress grunge, like that's fine. I just wasn't into it because all right, I guess it just reminded me like of people like that wore flannels in the mountains, and it just seemed like a younger people were appropriating flannels and trying to make it seem hipster and trendy. And flannels were just like cheap workwear that you could wear, like, and then they became inflated in price, and people started paying so much for ripped jeans. And I don't understand, because at one time people used to want to patch the holes on their jeans so they would last longer and look nice, but now people are wearing ripped jeans, and that's fine, but I just don't understand like why ripped jeans are so exciting. Like, it's not for me. Some people really loved. That's fine. You should dress like in a way that makes you feel comfortable. And I personally, I don't like wearing things that are I don't know, that are just really, how should I put, just trendy. Like, and I'm just not a fan of like jeans, because I feel like it. And here's another thing, my thoughts on this, like, are both probably, they're different than other people's thoughts on this. Okay, so a lot of people say, oh, like in modern times everybody dresses like so individualized, but sometimes, like, because of social media, when you start looking around, like, it kind of looks like there is a certain, like, not uniform per se, but a lot of people, because of social media, they now dress the way that influencers dress, like, and that tends to be beige, which I don't really understand. Like, have I always been introverted? Yes, I am introverted person. Just because that's my proclivity. Like, I've never been a social butterfly. Like, a lot of people, they love to socialize. I would say my sister, um, she, I think she has more extroverted tendencies than I do, because like Americans just, they start talking to random people, like when you're in the stores or everything. I'm not saying all Americans are extroverted, but I think up until recently, it was kind of considered like a faux pas if you weren't, like, I'm friendly to people, but if I see somebody on a bus or a subway, I'm not going to just like strike up a conversation with them. I'll be receptive if somebody strikes up a conversation with me, but I'm not the kind of person that's just going to approach somebody by themselves and start talking to them. And I feel like there's this very extroverted like push in American culture, like, and I don't think all Americans are extroverted. I actually think people are half and half. And some people who are extroverted, actually, they're pretty low energy. And I'm high energy and I'm introverted, but I just protect my energy. Like, I'm not going to go do things that would deplete my energy. Like, I've never been into drinking or drugs or like smoking. Like, I don't like things like that. Like, I think that depletes your energy. That's just my thought on it, you know? Oh, that's cute. I like it. I mean, you can be anything you want. Like, if you want to be, maybe like, you can be more extroverted, like with people that share your same values. Like, I'm not an extroverted person per se, because I've just never been into like the socializing party scene. But I do like to go to like Disneyland, and it can be busy and popular. But I like to go with just my sister, honestly, because I used to go when I was younger with multiple people. And like, if you're in a big group of people, the thing that makes me more introverted is I want to do things I like, and I feel like I never get to do the things I like when you're in a big group. I feel like the more dominant personalities would always pick things you want to do. And sometimes we go shopping, like, so we do go out, but I'm just at home most of the time when I have time off. Like, I was going to make an apple pie, but I already made one. I'm actually editing a video about it. But anyway, I just believe in protecting my energy. And it's just been always something on the forefront. Like, I have a lot of energy, but I think it's because I'm a steward of my energy. Like, I believe in, like, protecting myself. Like, I don't want to be super social. Like, I don't feel any benefit to it. Like, even when I was a kid, it was so, like, preached that you had to be social. I think it's more acceptable now. I think the only thing that changed it really was the pandemic, and people realized, oh, I kind of like being at home and getting to do what I want. But, like, now it seems like they're kind of going the other way, where they're pushing that, like, forced socialization. And some people are like, you have to go out and socialize. Yeah, princesses are fun. They're a lot of fun. plus, I live in California and I just like it. You need to go there sometimes when you live in California. It's pretty close. You might as well. Um, Although, I don't know, do you go to Euro Disney? Like that? Maybe it's close enough. It's pretty close. I don't know. Um, but anyway, I just I do like more introverted things with my free time. I just don't feel any need to like be social or socialize, and I I do feel like I have my own thoughts on spirituality, life, and happiness, and that's what I want my channel to be. I really hate like seeing a lot of things on social media where people are just being so rude, and my only way to remedy that is to be myself. Like I'm basically the same way on social media as I am in real life. Like I'm just me. Like that's why I don't really like I posted something about how I don't do aesthetic content, cuz for me like a lot of that it's just like staging, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it is very trendy, and I feel like it's going to have like a big fallout soon, because I feel like people are going to begin to realize, but and it already is, because a lot of people are saying, but my house doesn't have like $5,000 worth of containers that I organize things into, and I keep food in my regular container, which like why wouldn't you? Like here's a grapefruit, and I keep it in a bowl, and it's a lovely grapefruit. It doesn't have to be in its own little bin. Like it's in a ceramic bowl I made when I was a kid in high school, and I think that's more beautiful than buying a bin for everything. So there's nothing wrong with things being aesthetic. I just believe in like the beauty of like creating things that speak to me. Oh, it is? I never knew that. Okay, that's good to know. Like I've never been to Euro Disney. I just know our California Disneyland, which I like the brighter side of life. So, yeah, I just believe in promoting like the healthier side of life, and I'm also feeling a lot happier because I talked about before about how I ended a collaboration that just wasn't good for me, and I just began to realize like how not good for me that collaboration was. It got kind of weird though, because okay, I had a disagreement with that person, so they said they were right and they were the most logical person. If I didn't see things their way, like I was absolutely wrong. So I was like, okay, I guess we can't talk anymore. Because how would you be friends with somebody that's gonna post things like that? And it just was very like confusing. I was like, this is weird. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna not do collaborations with that person anymore, and I decided going forward to delete all the content that I had with that person off my channel, because it was weird like that they did that. And I don't know, but they said that they always had a better sense of honor than everybody else, but they thought people wanted to be their friends after they did that. I was like, this is strange. It was very strange. It's like, but this was the funny thing that happened. Like I noticed recently, like, there was this collaborative art, like, Pinterest board that I had invited them to pin on, like, a long time ago, okay? And I haven't really been looking at it, but I noticed recently, like, they were pinning things to that board. But it just felt weird because this person was never going to apologize to me. Not that they owed me an apology, but I kind of felt that they did, to be honest with you. I really felt that they did, because they said they were right about everything that they thought, and how they were allowed to say that people don't have honor if they don't agree with their certain political viewpoint, which I found very problematic. But I should have known that this was going to come up eventually. So I was like, okay, we're not going to talk anymore, but yet they're pinning like some sort of artwork that they created to this Pinterest board that I made, and I deleted it because I realized something about like collaborations. Like I'm sure some collaborations are very healthy, where both people want to help each other out and they both want to see each other grow and shine. But the thing about this particular collaboration, I realize, is I just happen to be a very helpful person that want people to do well. I genuinely do. And this person, like, didn't feel that way about me. Like, if it, actually, because I was not in a place where I could do live streams every time anymore. And they didn't accept that. And then when I tried to tell them, hey, this seems kind of harsh, like this thing that you said, oh no, it wasn't harsh. Like, it was perfect. Everything they said was perfect. And I said, is it really? Do you really stand behind this? Do you think that this is perfect? But I don't know. So, in hindsight, this person was never going to, like, build me up. Like, they weren't somebody that really was invested in me or my content. They just liked having a collaboration with me because they felt like I could kind of help them promote what they were doing, but it wasn't the other way around. In fact, they said they didn't believe in reciprocity. And I'm starting to think, that's kind of weird if you don't believe in any kind of reciprocity. There's just something very strange about that. Like, basically, it's kind of a stylish way of saying, I would like people to be my friend and help me out, but only if it's within the parameters of what I see as correct. And I was like, okay. So we weren't talking anymore, but they were like pinning some stuff to this like collaborative Pinterest board. And I was like, I just deleted the board because it just made me feel weird. Like they haven't once reached out and said, hey, maybe what I did was a little wrong. Like, no, they didn't, because I tried to talk to them about it. And they were like, no, I'm right. And everything I think is right. And if you want to be my friend, like an honorable friend, you have to support this political position that I take, which I couldn't support that position. And it was the thing that lifted my eyes. You want to know what the position is? I don't really want to go into it. Go check out Feast of the Middle East's channel, and she kind of talks about it, like in recent things about where you find out who's your real friend and not, Yeah, you find out. But anyway, I overthink. Well, Miguel, I like to think. Like, what am I supposed to just be, like, all, like, not thinking? I think everybody knows I think. Besides, Miguel, are you that person? Like, are you personally, like, invested in what that person... Are you, like, personally invested in, like, what that person is doing? Like, you can go, like, look at some other videos that are just, like... That's another thing, too. Please overthink things. Like, people that underthink kind of scare me a bit. You underthink. There's no such thing as overthinking. In fact, the song at the beginning, I do believe in simplicity and happiness, but I also believe in thinking about how our actions impact others and how it's not virtue signaling to care about somebody and to be thoughtful towards somebody. Though it's not like... No, I think you can. You do think I overthink, and some people have said that in American English too, and some people say that I use too many big words in American English, and they're Americans. So some people say, your vocabulary is too immense. Why are you using that word and this word? And I'm like, I don't know. You could read a book, and you could figure out what those words are that I'm saying. It's not even like I'm using gargantuan words in this little talk, but anyway. I guess I'm just talking and thinking about my thoughts, and I just feel that this live stream went on a little bit longer than I planned. I was just going to kind of do a short little one where I talked about, like, my hair goals, and I guess I turned it into kind of being about, like, faith and stuff, but just because those were things that are on my mind, like, the stuff I talked about earlier, that's definitely something that's just been on my mind lately that I just see happening a lot, and I feel like it's good to express that because I just am not a fan of performative Christianity or organized Christianity. Like, if you're going to be a Christian, just go read the Bible. You don't need a group of people, because I just haven't, like, encountered a group of people that actually embody the teachings of Jesus Christ the way that he talked about it. They just don't, okay? They just don't. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Miguel. Like, they just don't. So I guess that's the only reason I brought that up earlier, because somebody mentioned, like, Easter. And I think Easter is a really great holiday, but I also feel like if you're religious, yes, you're going to go to church because it's part of your faith, and you do believe, like, Jesus died for our sins, and you're going to go to church and celebrate that. But I don't feel like a lot of performative Christians who might just happen to go to church on that day actually feel that way. And they might. I'm not saying that they don't, but I just have a problem with like the tear down culture that's it, it's in social media, it's in real life, it's everywhere. And I think if you're a true spiritual person, you don't, and you could be an atheist, by the way, and actually embody this. Like, I believe in God, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I know a lot of people on social media are like, ick, you believe in God. I do believe in God. My spirituality and thoughts and ideas on growing long hair is something my dad had talked about it, and it came from, you know, Samson, like the thoughts on that, okay? That's where I got it from, okay? And that was something that, and I'm a biblical person, like I am a descendant of the Phoenicians, like I have biblical roots, like my ancestors in the Middle East were biblical people, when European people and other peoples were like still practicing polytheism. So, and I'm not trying to act more righteous than other people. That's not my intent. I'm just saying, like, I literally came from people that were people of the book, okay? Okay? I did. And I believe in God. And I don't have anything against believing in God. I just, my take on spirituality is I just don't like the organized, and I'm speaking of this from a Christian perspective because I don't want to offend anyone, but my experience with evangelical Christianity hasn't been a good one, okay? And I know some people are like, but that's Christians, that's not Christianity. And yes, that could be true, and I know I'm going back to this topic, but it just came up a lot because I don't get like this performative Christianity. Do people really care about their neighbors right now? Do they, like, or are they treating people with kindness? And I just be kinder, guys. Like, you could just be kinder to people, you know? I guess I could have just given an easy breezy answer. I should be like other YouTubers that are like, oh, I had a great Easter, friends. How are you? Or I could just do this thing like, mwah. And I don't like that, by the way. You know, when people like pretend to kiss the camera. Can I tell you why I don't like that and it really gives me the ick? Because I think kissing is a beautiful thing, but I think it's supposed to be expressed towards family and friends that you love. And it kind of reminds me of like hugging culture, where some people hug everybody they know, or they're like kissy to people that they don't really know. And it gives me the ick because I just don't feel like it's authentic. Like, you know, where you see a lot of people do on social media where they're like, oh, like the kissy thing. Thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate my empathy, Colette. That makes me feel good. Okay, that's interesting, Miguel. Thanks for sharing. Um, Whatever works for you, you know. I'm not saying anybody has to be a certain thing. I guess I'm just expressing my thoughts on social media. But you know, the kissy thing where people are like, oh, why are people doing that? Don't pretend to kiss your audience. I'm not trying to tell people don't do it. Like, if that feels authentic to you, um, like, I'm just being silly. Like, or they do that. I'm just like, why do people do that? It feels a little fake. Like, because there was a lady that did that, and then she was like, oh, look at me and my dog, and then she accidentally uploaded a video where she was kind of abusing her dog, and like, did she really feel that way about her dog? Or was she just pretending that way on camera so you would think like, oh, she's such a neat person and she loves her dog? Oh, yeah. No, she didn't love her dog. She just wanted, I don't know, to have this persona. So I'm myself all the time. I'm just always myself. So, but this is my long, oh, Colette, thank you. You warm my heart. Oh, thank you, Colette. That makes me feel so good. You really warmed my heart. Okay, thank you. That's nice. That's so sweet. So I really love that. In a genuine way. So anyway, I guess I've gone on long enough, and I appreciate everybody that's authentic and real and just talks about what they want and talk about what you believe in, you know. Talk about like things that make you feel good. Yeah, I probably would be complex, but you can look later if I ever do like international ones. Plus, I don't know if it'd be complex. But I have ones on Zazzle that I don't. I used to have shirts tied to my YouTube channel, but I took those away because I prefer my Zazzle shirts anyhow, and I think they're better designs. Like the spread shirt, I wasn't happy with the design, and a lot of creators have those, but then they're always like, nobody buys the shirt. It's because Zazzle shirts are better, like they really are, and I love Zazzle shirts, although I haven't ordered one in a really long time. But I think it's just because I haven't invested myself in like creating a big major art project that I really love. But if you ever want, like, and nobody has to buy a shirt, I appreciate you, Clint, by the way, thank you. If you want to design shirts or buy shirts, like Zazzle's the place, not Spreadshop. But anyway, I probably have been rambling on way too long, and I appreciate those who are thoughtful. Thanks for watching.